Yeah, chapter 5, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Heavy chapter. Heavy chapter. Now, this one is phrased um, specialized knowledge, personal experience, or observations. Now, this is what he calls the fourth step in the accumulation of riches, right? Um, he kick it off with is two types of knowledge. It's general knowledge or miscellaneous knowledge, and then you have what he calls specialized knowledge. Now he said with the general knowledge, you got all type of teachers and professors um, across the world that teach knowledge, but they don't teach the organization of knowledge and they don't teach the use of knowledge. So, automatically they had me like, damn, this heavy, you know. Now, specialized knowledge, on the other hand, is just a special skill or a special talent. Um, and he was saying that even though people say knowledge is power, that's not all the way true. Knowledge is only power. It's only potential power until you put it to use and until you organize it, right? Now he gave an example using Henry Ford. Of course, Ford cars. The guy that created the Ford cars, if you don't know, is Henry Ford. Um, he was considered a uneducated man, right? But just because you don't have schooling don't mean you not educated. And he was making it very clear, and I thought that was an interesting analysis. But anyway, we'll get into that. But anyway, um, they was calling Henry Ford, I guess a newspaper at the time was calling Henry Ford ignorant, right? So he sued them. So they go to court. When they go to the court, the lawyer's line of questioning was just who did the how many soldiers were killed in the British War, and who was this guy. This is not what they said. I'm just giving my own example because I can't remember, but just say like, who's William Shakespeare? um, and he was kind of brushing it off, right? So the lawyer continued to ask him quote unquote educational type of questions, right? So he just stood back and was like, hey, any question you ask me, I got people around me who have the knowledge that I can ask to answer any of these questions. And Napoleon Hill was saying at that point, everybody in the courtroom realized that he was an educated man. Um, so just because you went to school doesn't mean that you educated. And by the same token, just because that you didn't go to school, that don't mean that you uneducated, right? So when you break it down, just tapping into information and utilizing the information is the key. Now, he was given a list of ways you can acquire knowledge. Now, one was basically personal experience and observations, right? Then it was like by a collection of people who have information. Then you have colleges and universities. You got specialized courses. I may have left some out, but that's usually how people acquire information, right? And the main thing he was saying was you have to continuously pursue knowledge. And that's usually through home study, right? Because most people think like once you out of school, you don't have to seek information anymore, and that ain't how it works. You have to be on a continuous pursuit of knowledge your whole life. And then he was going on to say that about personal services, right? Um, you can utilize the specialized knowledge that you have to market your personal services and come up like that, you know, or capitalize off of it financially, right? Because he was giving this example of this guy who had accounting. I think he was taking like accounting outside of his corporate job, and when he lost the job, however he lost it, he wound up marketing it, and he wound up making way more than he made at the corporate level. And in no way did I feel like he was downing schooling, educational institutions. I don't think he was downing them. I think he was just saying that because you're um, maybe not what people or the general public would consider educated means that you dumb, you ignorant, you a fool. Because like Thomas Edison, he only had a couple of months of education and he became like a super successful person. Henry Ford didn't make it past a certain grade. I don't even think he made it past middle school, and he became a highly successful person. And there's plenty of other examples. And that's also not to say that just because you went to school that you don't have a specialized knowledge. So that's just what I got from it, you know.